What's up, guys? We have another game on our speed run with the white pieces against Goat Tothi, rated 1051. We're going to do something a little different this time. We're going to play d4 on move 2, just opening up lines in the position. I don't care about pawns. Okay, he doesn't even accept. He doesn't even take the pawn. He takes the passive chicken way out. You definitely should take the pawn, because now I have the whole center if you don't. So instead he just plays d6 and supports it. You do have the option of taking, trading the queens, going down that line, but I definitely want my queen on the board. So I'm just going to develop my bishop and aim at his king and at the center and see what he does. Maintaining everything in the center, trying to develop my pieces as fast as possible. Black develops a knight towards the center, targets a pawn. But we want to just develop. We're going to continue developing. We can develop the knight and protect the pawn. You can develop the bishop maybe, but then maybe you can try to kick it. So let's just develop the knight, protect the pawn, just look at the center. Just get another piece out. Okay, so now black attacks our queen. It's a little weird. We could develop our knight. We can also even play f3 because it comes with tempo, but it takes away the square from the knight. But I'm going to go for that and see what he does with the bishop, because it doesn't have a lot of squares and my knight can easily go somewhere else. Okay, so he backs the bishop up, but now it looks like super trapped and blocked in. So I'm not really sure about all that. If I take this and this, oh, never mind. Did I have that tactic earlier? Doesn't matter. Anyway, if we kick his bishop and his bishop goes back and we try to trap it and he makes room for it and we kick and he goes back, we made lots of pawn moves, so I don't like it without being so developed. So I'm just going to develop my knight, block this diagonal, defend this pawn another time, prepare castling. Black hits the center with c5, but this creates a weakness on d5 and d6. That's the drawback of the move. It threatens to win a pawn and cement a pawn here, so you can't allow that. So which way do we want to take? Pushing kind of closes things down. I don't necessarily want to close things down, so I would like to take. So let's take the pawn. He's going to take back, and now I don't want a queen trade, so how can I avoid that in a nice way? I mean, I could block with the bishop, but that's kind of lame. So knight in here, that looks more reasonable. Let's go with that, because then we can move this knight here, and I don't really want my bishop here, right? I'd much rather have it here or here on e3 or g5. So he develops the bishop and blocks the file, which is nice, and I don't have to worry about anything down the file. He stares into his own pawns. He prepares castling. It's a solidifying move, but it's not a threatening move. So now we could look to develop our bishop. Where do we want to put it? If we pin the knight, that applies extra pressure. That looks really nice. Let's just go for that. Nice and simple. We have the knight targeting it, so it's hit twice. And if he does something like this, well, then we can take and ruin his pawn structure. If we take this way and he takes this way, we get to keep our bishop. If we take this way and he takes this way, we get to keep our knight. I'd rather keep my bishop and then replace the knight instead of keep the knight and then I can't replace my bishop. So I'm going to take with the knight. So he has to take this way. And then I'm going to bring my bishop back here, covering all of my dark squares. And then I'm going to hop this knight in here. And that way I get the best of both worlds. It just takes a little extra time. Now he's developing a knight. He's clearly trying to put it in here, which is fine. For one turn, I'm going to go here. He's going to go here. I'm going to hop my knight in. But now he can't kick my knight. But I'm going to be able to play c3, kicking his. So mine's a permanent outpost. His is not. Okay, so he doesn't even jump the knight in. He castles. It's something, I guess. That hangs this pawn, though. So that's a drawback of the move, because the rook was defending. We could take that because it's free. Because not only is it free stuff, but it's also a free move because it hits the rook. So let's just take a free pawn and get the turn back because he has to move the rook. Okay, now with that turn, we do want to hop our knight in like we wanted and pressure this pawn so the queen is stuck. And now he can't kick it with the pawn, and if he jumps his knight in, we can always play c3, kick controlling the center. So hopefully this makes sense. So he does jump the knight in, but I guess when we kick it, maybe his best option is to go here. We don't need to even kick it yet because it's not like even a good piece necessarily. I kind of want to hunt his bishop, kick it back a little bit, maybe pawn storm him now that we have a pass pawn on the H file. That's reasonable. Is his rook trapped? Like if we kick this and he goes here and then we hit the rook, it looks like his rook is trapped. So let's do that. We start with a free move in the center. This not only opens up our queen, but now this, the knight was controlling this square, but now it's not. So the drawback of his move is it undefends this square. If we hit the rook, it has nowhere to go. I think it's worth it. We'll give up the bishop, we'll take the rook. And our rooks will be strong against such pawn weaknesses in an endgame, because the rook will just look down a line straight at the pawns and they'll be easy to capture. So he moves the rook here, but the knight's looking at that square. So now I get to keep my bishop pair and I give up the knight instead. Okay, so he moves the queen. He likely wants to just put a rook here staring at my queen. Okay. I'm going to make a forcing move, gain some space for free, force his bishop back a little bit. I just want to castle queenside, so where do I put my queen? I mean, I don't even know. Here, here, here. We'll just put it here for now. You could put it anywhere. Doesn't matter. Here, 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 here. Here, here. Yeah, even the center. I don't know why I didn't put it in the center. He moves his king, which hits our bishop. So we'll just go back to an even better square. We're ready to castle and send this pawn up the board. He hits our bishop, but he's kind of helping us reposition our pieces, because our pieces were misplaced, right? So I'm just gonna put this here and then jam it in here. Now this looks like a nice cubby hold for this bishop, so I guess it's good I didn't put the queen there because it's a great home for the bishop. Now I could just move the queen here, perfectly good square. He does this with the rook. Now I'm just gonna long castle, without thinking. He can try to pawn storm me if he likes, but after all, he's down a lot of material. And I can always trade for more material if I like. But let's see what he does. He should definitely try to attack me. So he relocates his queen, maybe to get it here or something. I'm just going to send my pawn up the board. His bishop is trapped if he doesn't do anything. Okay, so he moves his king so his bishop has a place to go. Whatever, we'll just kick it. Free moves. If we push it further, like, it's not going to go any further for a really long time. So let's do king b1 without thinking. This alignment, I guess he never gets to use it because it's just, I'm controlling the light squares way too much. So his bishop's kind of useless. It has nowhere to go. If I take this, okay, so he jumps the knight and targets this pawn. I could capture it and kind of fix his pawns a little bit, but I don't know. I'm just gonna do it just to simplify because I have 2 minutes, not because it's strategically good or anything. I'm just gonna tickle this pawn. I want to make fast moves with 2 minutes. Okay, he sees it, he covers it, fine. Now I have this in an endgame, so I'm always doing great there. So now let's just, I guess we're gonna play down the d file. So let me move my queen and double stack my rooks, and then I'll move my bishop and try to play down the d file. Yeah, that should work. I mean, he doesn't have 2 rooks, so it's going to be hard for him to stop me from doing what I want, kind of. He does have dark square control, which is why giving up your dark square bishop is not the best, but with 2 minutes on your clock, you could just take that knight, because that knight, who knows what it's going to do later. I don't want to think about all of its jumps. It's a lot easier to see what like this available squares for bishops. I mean, what's happening? He wants to sack a bunch of stuff, but I don't believe him. Yeah, I don't believe you at all, dude. He just does this, but I have bishop back. Everything defends everything. His queen's hit and his bishop's hit. So I take the hanging thing, and this isn't a threat. I mean, he can take a pawn, but he just hung a piece. And the whole position. Okay, so he's down 7 points of material, so we just have to not flag. So this is open, right? I want to go rook here, but it hangs there. So sacking this pawn is a cheeky way of defending that square, and if he doesn't take the pawn, you would have a good like move, but your queen hangs if you push the pawn. But there's no checkmate, right? Takes, check, king over, check, up, check. Wait, that is checkmate, right? Up, he takes a queen, check. What if he just goes here first? Yeah, that's not forced checkmate then. Okay, so now I'm running out of time. Whoops. In that case, let me just trade rooks. Okay. Now I have to checkmate him a little bit quickly, so let me just get my queen in the action. He has this check, but after here, I don't see his next move. Okay, but I'll take this with check, and now I should be able to checkmate him with no cover. Or just this wins a queen. But that's a check. That's a cute check. Now he goes there. We'll give him this check. We will check him this way. Okay, now we'll just take the queen. I'll just take the pawn. And then we'll just bring it together for a checkmate. Whew. 20 seconds on our clock. We pull it off. So let's go through the game. We open up center and development. He does the same thing. And now we go d4. You've seen me go bishop c4 for bishop's opening. Now I try to get a Danish gambit on the board, but He doesn't take. You should take this pawn, otherwise this isn't very nice for white. You're essentially just letting him put 2 pawns in the center for free. And he didn't even defend his pawn properly, and you're just letting him keep it there. So you should take. He doesn't take, so it's kind of passive. Development, center. Development and center. And now here you could definitely put your knight somewhere. But I decided to go for this structure because it supports the pawn for free, which frees my knight to do tomfoolery without having to worry about the pawn defending the pawn, right? And it comes for free, hitting the bishop. This diagonal is not like actually gonna matter, and it's another option. At least on move 5 in this position. I already have more pieces out, right? I already have lines and stuff, so it's not like I'm behind in development or anything. I have a better center. Yeah, and it's my turn again, so I get a 3rd piece out. Development, center, and my position looks great. And this move is not good, or I don't like it. And then we just take either one of the pawns is the same thing because he takes back either way. And you have so much control over this square that you get to plant a piece there, and when he trades you'll have a new piece to put there, and that's like your base of operations supported by this pretty cool pawn chain. And this isn't something like I thought of before the game, like, oh, I'm gonna make a light square pawn chain, put a knight there. No, this is just the natural development of the game. You come up with it on the fly. So there's this control. We don't want the queen trade. You could queen trade, but that's lame. Unless it's like clearly winning, why bother? So we hop a knight in, knowing that we don't have to put a pawn here. If we had to put a pawn there, we wouldn't want to, because we want to keep it open for a piece. So we improve this kind of for free. It's a little bit of a scary move to have this here, just lording over you with ideas like this. Another knight coming. It strategically looks really bad for black. He just tries to develop, and now we develop and affect the center because the knight's pinned. And then we choose to keep the bishop, a forced sequence that makes clear advantages for us. And now again, you could castle, although his rook's right here, right? So ideally I'm looking to castle queenside, or for the time being, my king is safe where it is, so I don't have to commit to one side or the other. That's why I'm not. It's not like I'm in any danger. Like, what's this bishop and what's this bishop? And this knight is like, what's it doing, right? So it's not like he can ever get to my king anytime soon. So instead, I decided to put my other piece here. That's clearly where it belongs. This was just a free piece. He blundered a pawn for free, and I get to do it while hitting a rook. Free move, free stuff. Now this is a improving move. Not for free, but might as well be. Like, it's so good. Tying down his queen. If he ever tries anything, like, this pawn always needs tending. So it's really annoying for him. This is doesn't matter. It's a useless move because it doesn't actually have any effect. And after this, I noticed the rook was trapped, so free stuff. And then you have options here: queen in here, castling short. The move I played, you know, this is a free move gaining space, just preparing to push your passed pawn, restricting his bishop to kind of garbage locations for free. And then queen here, I mean, that's not the most accurate move. Definitely center or anywhere else. But either way, we're just moving our queen for castling, development, and king safety. He's forced move, forcing us to improve our piece. 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 And now we finally get to king safety and development. That's why queenside castling is awesome, because of development. And now it's already moved 24, so It's crazy that I'm still going about development and center, but it carries over. There's so many forcing moves in the sequences that it carried over to move like 20 something now. Okay, now it's like we're developed. We have our pieces out. Look at the center, right? We have a bishop there uncontested. He can't do anything about it. So we have to find something else to do. Okay, move 25, h4. There we go. That's our new idea, middle game idea. Oops. Move 24. He moves back. We just get in some free moves. We're just pushing our pawn for free, essentially. Might as well. It's always going to be an asset in the end game. So if we take all the pieces off the board, this h-pawn will win us the game because his king has to babysit it. Meanwhile, our king can gallivant around the board and eat all his stuff. So I feel good about the position here. If we look at the analysis board, I wonder. Plus 4.8. Enough. Plus 5.1 went up. Alright, we're going to turn that off. But you can see how positionally dominating it is, because he has no counterplay. He has no pawn break. And there are no pawn breaks. There's this, but at the end of the day, you can ignore it. If he takes, you take. Well, maybe you can ignore it. If he pushes, I guess you can always just defend with a piece. If you plant a piece on the c3 square, that would be pretty solid. So let's find out actually. If it's our move, let's say we do something ridiculous like, oh no, let's say we just move our queen like mentioned, and then he pushes this pawn. But that hangs stuff. We don't want to make him. We don't want to do a move like that. Let's go here, and he pushes the pawn. And now they want queen back. Stop it. Stop it. King b1. But how's king b1 supposed to work after takes? Still, you just keep ignoring him. You just plug this on this square, and then you use his pawn as an umbrella pawn, so he can never do anything. It looked too slow, and I have way too many pieces, so you know it never works. But as far as like what the move by move is, you have to figure it out over the board, I guess. Or you could know some patterns, I guess, patterns of defense. If someone had a course like that on Chessable, would probably do well. So anyway, where was I? Okay, so I just moved my king preemptively. I didn't make a random queen move, because why would I make a random move? I moved my king because I foresaw trouble, and king b1 is always safer than king c1. So he plugs this, we just take, and I mean the rest of the game is just like a technical conversion. It's not so much you're going to get out of it, to be honest. You just have control all over the D file. He has absolutely nothing to do but sit and wait around. So he goes for this sacrifice to try to open things up instead of waiting around to die, but I'm too solid. He actually has no counterplay whatsoever. Engine says it's mate in 12, so that's about it. Hopefully you liked this video. We're going to try to play some more Danish gambits. Get some aggressive stuff on the board. I think it'll be really fun. I think it's the proper way to play chess, and I think it's a great way to start learning attacking chess as well. So submit your rapid games in my Discord. Like this video. Goodbye.